Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Give My Head podcast with myself, Tim McGarry, and my comedy colleagues.
And Damon Quinn.
We have a superstar, Peter Canavan, GAA legend on the show, and we want to say, first of all, many, many thanks to our wonderful sponsor, Phoenix Energy. Phoenix Energy, who have provided us with mugs and pens and cups and a beautiful notebook. Phoenix Energy, ladies and gentlemen. The advantages of Phoenix: instant heat, no waiting around for your home to warm up, constant hot water, never run out mid-shower. It's environmentally friendlier, cleaner burning oil fuel launch. No oil tank maintenance, because you don't have an oil tank, because you don't need an oil tank. No deliveries, no running out of gas, no tank upkeep. So contact Phoenix Energy, ni.com to make the switch from oil to gas today.
I'm gas.
You are the gas man. Tell people the benefits of gas.
Absolutely brilliant. It is. Instant heat is absolutely right. We had a new boiler installed there a couple of years back, and it's been absolutely brilliant.
I'm right.
Really,
Chefs prefer cooking with gas.
Absolutely.
Chefs prefer gas.
It's instant. I mean, yes, you get electric hobs.
And you control the heat better or something.
You can
with
control
gas.
heat. It comes on. It's an instant flame, and you can literally manage it much better than you can like even a hob. Even the best hobs aren't as good as gas.
Yeah.
No.
We are very grateful to phoenixenergyni.com. Go to phoenixenergyni.com for all the information you need to know about Phoenix Energy, all the good stuff that they do, and switch to Phoenix Gas. Phoenix, thank you very much for your sponsorship. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very rare to have a guest on the show who's got the nickname God, or if your name is Peter and you're called Peter the Great, that's pretty good indication that you are pretty successful at what you do. Our guest today is none other than God himself, GAA legend, and in fact, so big a GAA legend, people outside GAA know who it is. It is Peter Canavan. Welcome, sir. How the hell are you?
Well, you're badly stuck for somebody to interview when you have me up here.
Oh, do you know I have
way
said...
down the list.
No, do you know what? I people outside GAA know Peter Canavan's name, and that's a pretty big compliment to somebody who... When did you stop playing? You stopped playing quite a few years ago, didn't you?
I stopped playing for Tyrone 2005.
Right.
That was my last game. We beat Kerry in the All-Ireland final in 2005, but I continued on with the club for a few years, so I don't know what would have been 37, 38 maybe when I retired altogether.
37, 38, right, okay. That's quite old for a GAA player, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you are kind
when you're big and strong, you can carry on a few years.
Yeah, well, you are, I mean, genuinely a legend at GAA. Two All-Irelands, 6 All-Stars, is that right? Numerous Ulster titles. I can't even count how many Ulster titles you had.
Yeah, look, when you look back at... I was privileged because before 2003 Tyrone had never won an All-Ireland final. We'd only got to a few finals, and as a youngster growing up, I was very lucky to be involved in a good club and to be part of a good Tyrone team.
What's the club? Errigal Kieran.
You gave them a mention last night.
I did give them a mention last night.
in the show.
Yes, you were at our show last night.
He gave it a mention, but you boys probably hadn't a clue what it was on.
Did you enjoy the show?
That was brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, we should say that Peter was at the Give My Head Peace live show in Oma last night and didn't even pay for his tickets. But when you're a legend like that, you don't pay for anything in Tyrone, do you? Ever pay a pint?
Oh, Jesus, would you stop? The biggest compliment I can give you is, boys, my wife came down with me and she had a busy day. She says, I'm going to be sleeping here after 10 minutes.
Right.
She didn't sleep, boys. She thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
Well done, great show.
You've a very wise woman you've got there.
Well, wise, I don't know.
Very intelligent woman. I've never met her, but she just seems like the type of person who's lovely. And listen, GAA, a lot of people, some people, as I did in this show last night, I'm a soccer fan more than a GAA person, but you kind of are above that because you were so successful and you were kind of one of those names that people always remember. Let me ask you a stupid question. Somebody who's a soccer fan and all of that, and you appreciate Ronaldo is better than an Irish League player. How are you so much better than the average GAA player? What is it that you had that made me stand out from other
Well, you'd be better off asking somebody else that question, to be honest. And I wasn't a pile better than a lot of other boys, to be different.
Well, you were.
To be honest,
you were, because you scored hundreds of points, 200.
I would like to think I worked really hard at my game. When I say I worked hard at it because I wanted to get better. People assume that just because you're captain of your county or whatever, that you were always good or you were always skillful. And when I'm speaking to underage teams or lads that are trying to make an impression, I can tell the story of not making a team when I was 12 or 13 at school. I was sub on the team, and I think the manager let us slip at the time that he was playing bigger. Man, I wouldn't have been the biggest, as you can see. But so for me, thinking that you should be playing, and like it happens, a lot of kids, girls and boys in every sport that they don't make it. You're very disappointed, and at that age, the world comes down around you because you haven't made the school team. So you quickly figure out, right, I'm not going to make myself any bigger, but I can make myself a bit better here. And around that time, in 1984, Tyrone became successful, and they won an Ulster final against Armagh. And our main player at that time was a fellow called Frank McGuigan. And they won the Ulster final that day, and we were at it, great experience and all the rest, but we won it, Tyrone won it because he scored 11 points from play. And at that time, that's not something that you do. He kicked it with right, he kicked it with left, he scored some with his fist. So back then, we had a tape of that, and I recall watching it every day of the week. Right. So for me, right, I want to kick the ball with both feet as well. So I went out and practiced, and we had a wee pitch down the road from us. There was a big hill up behind it, so it was a case of going down, kicking the ball over the bar. Yeah. Didn't have to run too far after it, going and kicking it again. So it was, I worked really hard, and I wanted.
So that's the Muhammad Ali thing. You don't win in the boxing ring, you ring in the training, and it's the time you put in, and it's the effort. That Geordie Best used to, wait behind after training with everybody else and practice corners and all that sort of stuff. It's just putting the hours in.
But and you're the equivalent to a striker, aren't you? You're a forward.
Yes. I know you're not a Gaelic fan, Damon, but
he doesn't do any.
You could call me a striker.
Right.
I score. I try
You're
to score.
You're a scorer. Yeah.
You could call me a full forward or a corner forward.
Ask Ronaldo that as he says, you score, or are you the goalkeeper?
Go on, Ed, there's a good question coming here.
No, how many times has Tyrone won the
Four.
We
won 4.
How many of them were you involved in? Two.
Yeah.
Right. And these were all in the 2000s, weren't they?
03, we made the breakthrough. We came very close to winning an All-Ireland final in 95. Tyrone played Dublin. I could give you a lot of reasons why we didn't win it that day. We came very close within a point to win it. And thankfully for me and a couple of other lads, we hung about long enough till there was a good group of Tyrone lads coming, got back again in 03 under the stewardship of Mickey Hart, and we won an All-Ireland then, won it 05. Yeah. The boys won it again in 08 and 21.
So why did Tyrone only get good in the 2000s then? Was it
because there was a lot of other good teams about at that time, and in Ulster there is serious competition from a lot of other. It's a harder province,
except Antrim,
to get out of.
I speak as an Antrim man. Have Antrim ever won anything?
And they play too much hurling up there. You see, that's why the football struggles.
But do the Free Staters get annoyed when a northern team wins?
They don't like it.
Is that a thing? Like, I mean,
you boys up there, there's always a thing going down south, and that. We should have been playing rugby or something. Them boys would feel. No, look, there's.
It puts them out, doesn't it?
It used to be the case whereby teams did feel we didn't get the same treatment down south that other teams got. That was definitely the case. Now, that hasn't been the case in recent years, but I know when we started playing and when we went down to play big games down south and down in Croke Park, you felt you were playing more than 15.
Yeah, you weren't legitimate. You weren't a proper.
Well, in some people's eyes.
Yeah, kind of. And tell us, who was Sam Maguire?
Sam Maguire. Do you know who Sam Maguire was?
Yeah. Tell us.
He wasn't one of us. I'm surprised he hadn't got a mention on one of your shows.
Right.
Sam Maguire was a Protestant from Dunmanway in County Cork that spent a lot of time working. He was over in London. What took him over to London? He was a civil servant, but he was also got involved in a number of other things as well when he was over there.
He brought Michael Collins into the IRB.
to cut a long story short, the Sam Maguire is the most famous trophy in Irish sport, we believe, and the cup was named after him. So
he was raw.
He's a prod from Cork.
Yeah, but he was raw, was he?
Well, he was involved in different movements.
Right. And why did it get named after him? What was the whole?
Because of the work that he did for promoting Gaelic games when he was in London.
Right.
Do you come from a big GAA family? Because I used to have a house up in... I used to go to Donegal. There's a wee village up there, Kildare. And Kildare is a soccer village. They have a soccer team. And the next village is GAA. There's GAA places over Derry City, for instance, isn't a GAA city. But the county is a GAA county. Is there... Tyrone, the big GAA...
Tyrone would be a stronghold when it comes to Gaelic games. There's no doubt about that. They're a fanatical county.
And did you have that in the blood and in the family?
And my family, absolutely. There was 11 in our house growing up.
Right.
I was number 10.
Wow.
Right. This man's going to say something. So we had six boys and 5 girls. So my father was heavily involved in the club. Would have played Gaelic football for St Kieran's, Ballygolly was the club. When I was growing up, there was a split in the club. I'm not going to go into it here in this programme, but there was a corner of the parish. Tried to form a club of their own. They tried for 8.5 years, didn't work out.
Right.
So the club, and it was a better dispute at the time.
No, not a split in an Irish organisation.
Hard to believe in that, but to such an extent that the Cardinal at the time was involved because he didn't want to see the parish remain in that state. He authorised a famous manager. He was manager of the Armagh team, Father Sean Haggerty, to come to our parish with the purpose of uniting the parish and bringing these two sides together. Yeah. Father Sean Haggerty, a very charismatic character. He wasn't the height of 2 turf, smoked about 50 fags a day, but he was a really engaging character and got the both sides talking, told one side a pack of lies, told the other side another pack of lies, and got the two of us back. A club was reformed under the name of the parish, Ergel Kieran, and it just took off. It just went from strength to strength, and it took the split maybe to realise, for everybody in the parish to realise how important football is to us, to the people in the area. But
so a hard smoking cardinal is thanks to your career, and also a lion cardinal.
Yeah, very much a lion.
A Tony Blair, if you will.
But back then, completely different than now. Back when I was growing up, it was football or nothing.
Yeah,
we didn't. I would love to have been able to have that opportunity, maybe to play other sports.
Did you ever play hurling?
I played a wee bit of hurling at school. But look, you watched it all on TV, but there was no. And my mother had a post office, and if soccer was on the TV, you'd be out in the garden and you were Jerry Armstrong or Norman Whiteside for an hour. Yeah. If it was rugby, you were out, you were seeing the rugby on TV straight out. And obviously we didn't have a rugby ball at the house to play, but my mother had a post office at the house, and there'd be people walking up, and what I had used was a bucket without the handle. You know, a bucket that you'd take to the beach there, Damon. Yeah. So you turn it upside down. I was setting it in the grass, and I was kicking it in through the porch, the door of the porch. So I was Ollie Campbell or Tony Ward. But that was the height of my rugby experience, and people walking to the post office thinking, that cub's not why he's kicking a bucket about the place. But now children in our parish have the opportunity to play. They're playing soccer. They're going to the local soccer club. Some of them are playing basketball. Some of them are playing rugby, and they're coming to us to play. They're playing hurling and they're playing Gaelic. So they've great opportunities now, and I suppose there's a greater onus on us to make sure the coaching they get from a Gaelic point of view is good, so that they stay in our club. But it's completely different now than when it was when.
Am I right that the goalkeeper for Tyrone, who won an All-Ireland, ended up goalkeeper for Dungannon Swifts as well.
Niall Morgan, who's playing at the minute,
Yeah.
would have played a bit of soccer, and no doubt he would have ended
Whereas
up.
in the old days, that was a barrack sport, and there was the ban. Well, the ban was lifted a long time ago, wasn't it? In foreign sports, it was
Yeah, you couldn't have been seen to be participating players
in
got
soccer or rugby.
banned for playing foreign sports.
By which they meant English sports,
Yes,
as in
yeah,
soccer and rugby, not golf or
Not golf, yeah.
not golf or American football. You can play that.
That's okay, yeah.
But do you know a fella called Connor Phillips, the TV presenter,
Yes,
or radio
I do.
presenter, Connor Phillips? I had a chat with Connor about you.
No, he's an Armagh man.
He's a very heavy Armagh man. He's a big Armagh man. But he said the nicest things about you. He genuinely said that you
He's
were.
looking at something.
No, he's
He's
not
looking
actually genuine, because I said, look, I was going to be chatting to Peter, and is there anything I should ask him and stuff. And there was a great rivalry between Armagh and Tyrone, obviously. But he said you were very genuinely a wonderful man, a very kind man. You could go anywhere, everybody says nice things about you. But you were a hallion on the pitch, weren't you? You were a hallion. You had fights with.
Did he tell you that?
He told you. He said you were rivalries with Francie Bellew and another guy, Kieran McKeever, that I should ask you about, because some of those ended up in quite fisticuffs on the pitch and stuff.
Well, I don't know about fisticuffs. I wouldn't fisticuffs with Francie Bellew. There's only going to be one winner there. I wouldn't even go down.
He's
that
a big
road.
lad.
He wouldn't have walked round you if he could have walked through you. Put it like that. But Gaelic football back then was maybe a bit tougher and a bit wilder.
It always ended in a fight, didn't it?
Oh, it didn't
Well,
always end up. It didn't always end up now. But you had to be fit, I suppose, to stand up for yourself, because if you didn't, then people would soon take advantage of you if they thought you were an easy
And you
touch.
were smaller than those guys, but you were quicker and faster. and
Sharper elbows, maybe. Yeah, you had to use, obviously, if you're a bigger, stronger man, defender, you're going to try and use that to slow down your opponent. So if speed was one of your better attributes, then it was wise to keep on the move, and as much as possible, you try to keep on your move when you're on the move when you're not the biggest. But there were some tough encounters. Throwing Armagh back when I started, there were some serious.
I did take that very seriously, because I did a gig in the Moy once, which is right on the border.
That's right.
And I mentioned Armagh or Tyrone, I can't remember which, and fucking fight near broke out between the two.
They're serious on the
They're
border.
very serious. Still,
Still is very much. So if you're in the Moy, there's an Armagh throne split. You go down to the Loch Shore, and you've Arbo, Merton, Derry Loughan, which you were there one night.
Oh, that's right, yeah,
performing. So the rivalry there is
intense.
with Derry, and then you go to the far end of the county, up around Strabane, Castlereagh, Ahayarn, and they hate Donegal with a passion.
Right.
So it's, I suppose, where you're brought up.
So
but
were you delighted to see Armagh win the All-Ireland the other year there? Were you delighted? Or were you
I wasn't singing from the rooftops, but believe it or not, I was. Yeah, I was when they won it the first year. Obviously, they won it before us in 2002 for the first time. But I'd went to college with a lot of those men. I'd played against them. I knew them well, and they were coming from very similar background, very similar stories to ourselves. And the fact that they actually won it in 2002 meant, well, we were looking at them thinking, Jesus, if they are winning it, we can win it. Whereas for years and years, and it still goes on in some quarters, teams look up to, and certain counties look up to Kerry and Dublin as if they are superhuman. That every time they play in Croke Park, they do extraordinary things. When you see your neighbours winning something, then you think, well, here, if they can do it, we can do it. So it acts as a spur, it acts as motivation, and it certainly did, as far as we were concerned in 2003.
Yeah. Well, you're only here because we couldn't get Oisin McConville, but he was. You heard of Oisin McConville? He scored more points than you.
That's right. He hits a freeze, I think, for Armagh. I used to hit the freeze.
All right, he's a set play man then, is he?
He's on a decent. He works on a decent podcast at the minute.
We couldn't afford him.
Thomas Nibbler. Maybe that's it. Is
he the top scorer ever? But you must.
He's the top scorer, and I think he's the top scorer in Ulster football. He would be a bit like myself. I don't think he's going around counting up, tallying up what he scored or whatever. But absolutely, Armagh wouldn't have won the All-Ireland in 02 if it hadn't have been
Right.
for Oisin McConville's scoring exploits. Fantastic footballer, and he knows what he's talking about when he's speaking about Gaelic as well.
The GAA, as you say, I'm a soccer man and stuff like that. And I do a history podcast with a guy called Cormac Moore, who does the history of all sports. He's really into every single sport in the history of all sports. And the GAA has had a colourful history over the past. And there was connections with the Republican movement early on and stuff like that. But it's still deemed today. You see people like the TUV still, and Jimmy Bryson think basically you're a front for the Ra and all of that nonsense. I mean, how do you cope with that sort of stuff? Do you just ignore it till you get on?
It does disappoint you because I'm vice chair in the club, and there's a lot of people in our club does a serious amount of work.
Yeah.
As in any club. And what we're doing is to try and create an environment where young boys and girls can come, they feel safe, they feel secure, and they get a chance to express themselves by doing something that's healthy. And it gives them a sense of belonging, that there's people there to keep an eye on them and care for them. And we strive and work very hard, and people give up a serious amount of time. You want to see our pitch for coaches. So, in terms of if anybody came to our club, they wouldn't have a clue, and you left us saying, what religion is it? They wouldn't have a clue. It doesn't come into it.
Is
but
there much of a crossover?
there's not as much as there should be,
but
because I suppose the weight of history is still carrying. Absolutely, there's some.
Yeah.
And not that I'm going around counting, but I know there's everybody is now playing it and getting the opportunity and feeling safe and secure about doing that. But it's took a long time for that to happen, probably.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's a hostility from certain areas, but it's also, when I was saying to you before we started the podcast, I mean, growing up where I grew up, it just didn't exist. The idea of it was just, what is GAA? I mean, it was only basically, I think, in secondary school.
A lot more in integrated schools.
No,
also,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see that, because it just wasn't a question of hostility, just you didn't know about it.
Well, I had the opposite thing. I had some Malachy's where there was no soccer. We had the GAA.
Yeah, but you were aware of football. You would have been aware of it on the TV and stuff, and
Yeah, and it's a brilliant sport, and we'll talk about the feeling of family, because a club jersey, you can go anywhere in the world, and there's GAA clubs, so there's people would look after you. And if any of my family ended up anywhere, Australia, America, they're going to find a football club, or people will relate to them, they'll identify with them.
No, that's a great thing about it. I know, I get that. Yeah.
That's
you saying if I go around the world saying I'm related to Peter Canavan, I get free drink.
Don't know. Just don't be wearing your Cliftonville jersey.
There's no money in it, though, is there?
There's no money.
Well, that's, sorry, I wanted to bring that. Amateurism is one of the key thing of a.
It is.
I mean, but if you had been in a professional sport at your level and winning that, you'd be a multi-millionaire. Perfection.
And I suppose that's why you see a lot of young Gaelic lads getting the opportunity to go over to Australia to go over and try and participate in the NFL. A few of them have been successful over there.
Is that not
and
part of the thing, though? The good thing about it, the nice thing about it, is that the players are just people like everybody else. I mean, I remember reading a long time ago one of Pat Jennings' biography where he's talking about when he played for Spurs, being on the bus on the way home with the people who'd come to watch the match.
You mean a coach, a team bus, the bus home?
Just going, getting the bus home. Yeah, they're going, Pat, you were shite today, But there is that kind of thing about it, I suppose. Not necessarily working class, but probably there is that kind of the ambience with it is really something that is like you're part of. You're just one of the guys. You're playing the game, but then you're with the public after.
Well, that's it, because there's so many people from other codes that would be going to an All-Ireland final, or maybe don't normally go there. They can't get their head around how players are playing in front of 70,000 people, games on national TV and all the rest, and they're having to get up and go to their work the next morning.
Yeah.
We would have played a few years back in the compromise rules where the best of the Irish Gaelic players played the best of the Australians, AFL. They are professional. So again, they couldn't get their head around when they were over, and you're chatting to them after it. You were saying, some of you boys are going back to work tomorrow. Yeah. And I was telling them, well, that fella there that scored a goal, 6 points, Jonathan, he's a postman. He'll be getting up at 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning to go to his work. That fella will be milking his cows tomorrow morning. They just couldn't get the head around. But that's where we are, because it's not a big globally or an international sport as such. We can't really facilitate players being paid what we expect, such as the level of commitment now. Counties and county boards are expected to look after the players in terms of expenses and proper meal and physio bills and things like that you're not out of pocket, and that the GPA, since it was formed, is there to provide support for county players as well. Gaelic Players Association, which was formed. So if players setting up their own business. Is there
any move towards professionalism?
No, it's not going to happen.
Would it ever happen?
No.
I mean, they're nibbling at the edges of it, and some people say, well, should you get expenses, and do you get a wee fee if you win? Do you get anything if you win the All-Ireland? You get a pat in the back.
You'd get a team holiday, and you get rewarded from the Croke Park, and that the counties would get a certain amount, a contribution towards the team. So now you hear tell now there's a lot of teams heading off to Portugal or Spain for warm weather training. It's far from a holiday. They're training every day of the week. Perks, the bigger counties, and some counties more so down south, you don't get it here. The players are driving cars or get sponsored cars and bits and pieces like that.
But it's the same with the hurlers as well. I mean, it's kind of, you look at kind of like the Gaelic football, the level of skill involved, and also with the hurling. I mean, the level of skill involved in the hurling is but they like.
They're the exact same.
They're not earning big money out of it.
No, they're earning nothing out of it.
I mean,
some players get the opportunities, or maybe are asked to work for companies and to go on the road because they're high profile. Yeah. But they're working.
I've never been to a hurling match, but I've seen it on TV, and it's incredible the amount of skill.
I said to you earlier to make sure and go down to Munster hurling final if you want to see a proper sport and be royally entertained. But the other thing that you must remember regarding Gaelic players is the amount of time and effort that they put into the county players in particular. When we were playing, it was pretty straightforward, as in you had a match at the Sunday, you might have been training on a Tuesday and Thursday night, game Sunday. So maybe thinking it was a serious commitment. There's nothing compared to what they're doing now. They're training every day of the week. If they're not training together and meeting to go out onto the pitch, they're in the gym. They're in the gym or their recovery. So it's literally 7 days a week. Serious commitment, and you're either in or you're not in. It's very much full commitment. So they're and a lot of them are doing it and sustaining their careers at the expense of reward and monetary reward job. A lot of players stick to a certain job, or they don't go for promotions because they can't commit the time to it. They can't go into their own business, a lot of them, because they can't commit the time to it. So it's a serious commitment. Some people see it as a big sacrifice and all the rest, but players do it because they want to do it. They want to be successful. They want to play for their county, which is a big thing for anybody that plays Gaelic football. And they do it for the right reasons, but it'll not go down the professional route.
It's getting difficult now, isn't it? Because I have the rumours there's certain rural areas in particular, people need to eat and people need to work and stuff, and people are moving away from rural areas, and there are fewer players. The pool is getting smaller in some counties.
It's one of the major issues in the GAA at the minute, and there was a very detailed study undertaken by Croke Park through Benny Hurl, a Tyrone man, on the demographic situation and the amount of people that are vacating the west of the county, going abroad or coming over to the east,
or whatever,
to the east of the country. It's alarming because, as you say, a lot of GAA clubs are rural clubs, and they're really struggling
keep the population.
for numbers and to keep it going. And so on that end, you have the problem of sustainability in numbers, and then on the east of, and especially in the bigger cities, you have the problem of clubs coping with too many players and some grades. And under 14, there's teams in Dublin might have 6 or 7 teams at under 14 level,
right,
6 or 7. So you can imagine that trying to organise that, and for coaches and parents and all the rest, there's a serious and on top of that, there's a lack of, especially in Dublin, Casement or in Belfast and all the rest, a lack of facilities for the GAA as well. So there's various issues and problems that they have to deal with.
It's still an amateur sport, but don't some of the boys go to Australia and play Australian rules football?
Some have got the opportunity.
I love when you talk about sport. It's like Donald Trump talking about Dostoevsky.
Some get the opportunity to go over and trial, and if they're good enough, they'll be offered a contract.
Right, and that's
over there.
Professional, is it?
We've a young girl in our club. She's one of the best players in Tyrone, Aoife Horish. So she's been offered a contract to go over to Australia.
Yeah.
So
that never appealed to you, did it?
Never good enough. Never big enough. No, I think you have to be cut out for it. And again, it's the ladies AFL, like the men, is tough, very physical. But a lot of girls have had that opportunity, and it's great for them to do it. They're going to live a professional lifestyle, lead a professional lifestyle in a great country. But it's some opportunity, but a loss to the club and a loss to the counties. But
it's interesting. When I grew up, rugby was still more or less amateur, and it's gone from that completely into that professional thing. And it's interesting watching. You see, when I went to school and we played rugby in our school, and I was a little weed on the wing, but all the guys were kind of like, normal kind of schoolboys. And you see them now, and they are built like brick shithouses. Like, they're bloody massive, and they're training, as you say, the whole thing seems to have become much more professionalised, even at the school level. I mean, is that happening with the GAA?
At strength and conditioning is a very important aspect of it now, but nowhere near to the same degree as in rugby. I think, strength is important, but so is flexibility, so is mobility and being able to get around the pitch and Gaelic. Yeah. But if you look at the physique of rugby players now, especially in the backs, the shape of those players now, centres and all the rest, that would be the equivalent to what a flanker was 20 years ago. And so it's turned into a different sport, I would say. I don't think it's to the better. Absolutely, it's because of professionalism, and I'm not saying it's to the betterment of it, but it's alarming, the physique, and you go down to some of those games and you can hear the crunches when the tackles are being made, and it's putting serious strains on their bodies.
Here, would you be mates with Joe Brawley?
Is that
a loaded question?
Is that the fella used to play for Londonderry? Was it? Yes.
We know Joe from the law. You see,
I know Joe well. Yes, I do know Joe well. Again, he runs a very successful podcast as well.
Yes.
Should listen to it.
Have you been on his podcast?
No, I couldn't. I wouldn't be fit for Joe.
All right, okay.
I'm gonna lean into a slightly controversial thing here, but I just saw an article there by Joe about the Allianz thing.
That's right.
About the sponsorship, and he obviously has his opinions. What would your view of that be?
His opinion is similar to mine with the issue of Allianz. Topical at the minute because Congress was at the weekend there, and there was a protest organised for those that don't believe that Allianz should be sponsoring the second most important competition in Gaelic games. So.
With their connections to Israel.
That's right.
Yep.
There was a report by Francesca Albanese, the UN Commissioner, which clearly highlighted that Allianz is one of the profiteers from genocide. Yeah. And as a community-based organisation, this wouldn't sit well with the GAA. And the powers that be set up. A lot of counties weren't happy with this link, obviously, when this came to light, and wanted it addressed. And there was Congress at the weekend. It wasn't even up for debate. There was a few months back, there was an ethics and integration, or an ethics committee, I don't know what the proper title of it was, set up to look into the links. And they came back with a watery enough response. 5 people that sat on the committee to begin with, 2 of them actually recused themselves, so it was down to 3. And they backed the GAA and that there was no harm having this relationship with it. So Congress, which debates a lot of motions put forward by counties, and we are disappointed that the one motion that should have been on it, should the GAA have companies that enable genocide as sponsors, should that be allowed in the GAA? That wasn't even discussed. And the issue of sponsorship in the GAA for our competitions, there has been precedent for it, in that there was alcohol companies sponsor GAA, there was tobacco companies sponsor GAA, and the GAA, when it came to morality v commercialism, always backed the side of morality. They did the right thing. And we believe this is a very straightforward, and it's nothing to do with politics or anything. This is a humanity issue. That's the bottom line. That there's a right and there's a wrong, but because the extent of the deal with the Alliance and their connection through insurance of properties and all the rest, it would be an immense headache for the GAA to try and sort this out. And
so
there's serious financial complications. But totally get it.
Yeah.
But it's, what's the price for right or wrong and doing the right thing? And that's our argument. And so that's what the debate is. There's an ongoing debate whether the GAA should remain. And look, a lot of grassroots members would be very disappointed that the association has chosen to remain with this company when they should be doing other things, and when we would have no bother getting companies to come forward.
I was going to say, the GAA would get other people to replace that.
Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. You just don't have money to build Casement Park. Do you think you'll ever be in Casement Park sitting with... Your 2 sons play for Tyrone, don't they?
They do. Darren is there. I'm hoping that they get a chance to play.
Play at Casement Park.
Yeah. I think it'll happen.
You think it will happen?
I think it'll happen. It'll not be the massive 40,000 stadium that we had envisaged that a few years back. But if it's reduced, it's reduced. But just from an Antrim point of view, Antrim football needs a focal point in the centre of the city. If you look at other cities, Limerick, the success they've had, Galway, a really city, Dublin, and hurling has gone from strength to strength. They were kingpins for football years, and Belfast is the poor relation. Yeah. So there's a lot of ground to be made up in Antrim football in particular, and Casement could be what kickstarts that resurgence, I hope.
Yeah. Are your 2 boys any good? Do you sit on the sidelines going, for fuck's sake,
they're all right.
How do you miss that?
They don't listen to you.
Is that right? They don't listen.
They do their own thing.
What are you, you're ancient history. And I think your daughter plays as well.
Claire's on the Tyrone ladies at the minute. Anya did play ladies
football.
Ladies football as well. So, as I say, we know nothing else.
Is she any good?
We know she's not bad. She can show the boys up when it comes to it now. But
are you proud dad, or are you critical dad, or do you give them notes? Do they want notes, or do they?
It's funny coming from you, that question. Are you a proud dad? But look, absolutely, and football doesn't define them to begin with. I don't care. If they hadn't have lifted a ball. Yeah. And for Claire, when she was growing up, she was more into Irish dancing. That was her focus. Right. And she was very good at it. But she finally copped herself on and said, "Here, better start playing football for the club." But look, they love it. And back to the point I made earlier.
You do it
every evening. You do it because you love it. And every evening that they go out, I know where they are. I know they're with good people. I know what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve. And if they're good enough to be able to wear a club jersey or a county jersey and bring a bit of joy to other people, isn't it great? So they're very committed to it. And good luck to them. I hope they can remain in it as long as they can. And,
So they're playing for the county, are they? Yeah,
they're playing for the county and playing for the club as well.
They play different positions from you?
The two boys are forwards.
Really?
And Claire's a defender.
Right.
So the boys take it after me, and Claire's like her mother. She's a stopper. She's a stopper.
Oh, is that right? Is her mother like that as well?
Oh, she was a tough one on the pitch.
A stopper.
That's like a defender.
I heard once that you were brought onto a pitch on the 53rd minute of a match and left the pitch at the 54th minute of a match. Was that
this is our man. It's Connor Phillips.
It is. Connor Phillips told me that. He said, ask him about that there. I said, why would I ask him about that? But you did.
There was a film out at the time called Gone in 60 Seconds, I think. Was that so I got a bit of stick about that. Yeah, it was an Ulster final replay, and I was sub, and I came on. And as soon as I came onto the pitch, there was a skirmish that
was a contretemps. There was a disagreement.
That had nothing to do with me, and I went to tackle. It was Kieran McGeeney, maybe had the ball at the time. But back then, the Armagh boys didn't allow you to tackle Kieran McGeeney, you see. I was removed. I was removed from the group that were gathering around the time, and the referee seen it fit to send off myself and Kieran McKeever.
Do you know you've made that statement like you were a solicitor told you to read that? There was a disagreement and I was removed.
A slight disagreement.
Did you do anything wrong involved in that, Peter? Did you did you deserve to be sent off?
Well, I got my suspension rescinded, so that would indicate
that. Right, okay.
Rescinded.
Did Armagh win?
The wrong place at the wrong time. You know that story yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly. Did you? You run a hotel now? I stayed in your hotel because I was doing a gig in Daly's.
Go on ahead, keep going.
And Canavan's Hotel. Surprise. Good name for a hotel run by Peter Canavan. Excellent. I really enjoyed our night there. Nice, lovely wee bar.
Good.
It's in Garvaki, which is between Omagh and...
I hope to have you back doing one of your live shows.
Oh, you hear that?
At some stage. So,
right. Don't say that too loudly. The tax man might hear, and we did a deal that it's cash only, isn't that right?
Connor Keys will keep you right.
Connor Keys, who runs Daly's Comedy Club. I'm actually doing a gig in Daly's, a solo show, the Height of Nonsense solo tour in Daly's a couple of times later in the year. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. So is that your day job now?
Yeah, I'm still teaching. And
you teach as well? You always were a teacher?
Holy Trinity. I've been teaching since 93. Holy Trinity College in Cookstown. And my role there as a PE teacher, and it's past 7 or 8 years, my role has changed somewhat in that I was given a post to become director of Holy Trinity Foundation. We set up, in the process of getting a new school, the Board of Governors quickly realised that there was a substantial amount of money extra needed to be raised in order to equip the school to the way that we wanted to moving forward. And we're a co-ed secondary school. We're in the heart of East Tyrone, the engineering hub of the world. Right. So there was a great emphasis in the new school built based on engineering and manufacturing, among other things. Yeah. So at the time, the figure that was needed to be raised was £1 million. With COVID and Brexit and different things, that soon went up to $1.5 million. So I set up a foundation board comprised of local community and business leaders. They came up, great people who give so much of their time and are continuing to do so as we enter the final stage of this, to come up with strategy and a vision to raise this money, and then I had to go out and deliver. So we've managed to do that. We've hit our target, and we've moved into a state-of-the-art school there a couple of months ago. So we're in the final stages of the project will complete now in August. So that has been... It has taken me out of the classroom for 50% of the time, working with great people in the board, but I'm also getting to see and meet a lot of businessmen in the local area and get my eyes open maybe to the real world as well. So we've had fantastic support, and that has been a humbling experience to see people rowing in behind us the way we have, because again it's all about trying to secure and create a better environment for our children moving forward. And the children in the Cookstown area now are very lucky and fortunate that they have the facilities that they have to go on in Cookstown.
Holy Trinity, Cookstown.
So I'm also there, and I had the opportunity then 2 years ago to become involved with a partner in running what was Kelly's at the time, a very popular venue, very well run, family based hotel and restaurant owned by the famous Patsy Kelly. And Patsy still continues to be a brilliant support to us moving forward. So we've plans to extend, put on a health suite and move forward and to create a really good venue. And to have some really famous acts come and play at it and stay with us. It's been enjoyable. And again, I'm getting my eyes opened. I never was into hospitality.
Say, you're a teacher, you're a Gaelic footballer. Running a hotel isn't easy. Running a bar isn't easy. The hospitality industry. I do a few gigs where they have it rough at the minute.
That's why my partner Stevie Doherty is an expert in hospitality. He knows what he's doing in that regard. Right. So it's easy for me to drop down to say hello to a few stars like yourself.
You're not a Basil Fawlty.
He's the cut of a Basil Fawlty.
I can do a silly walk for you if you want. And do you enjoy that? So you're a busy man.
I do enjoy it. Again,
are you there all the time, like 9 to 5? You're in the school.
Absolutely not.
School hours.
I'm not there. I'll be there when I can. But it's definitely not hands-on. We have a brilliant staff and brilliant managers in charge of it who know what they're doing. And but you do get the opportunity to meet a lot of really interesting people that call in with us between staying and for food. And like on Saturday night there, Offaly came up to play Tyrone. One of the best footballers that I ever seen play the game, Matt Connor, came up and stayed with us, and I got able to spend time with him that he wouldn't ordinarily have been able to do. So there's brilliant characters coming.
Matt Connor, Offaly, is he?
That's right.
Neil Delamere's from Offaly. When did Offaly won an All-Ireland once?
They stopped Kerry from winning the famous 5 in a row back in 1982.
God, yeah, right.
Neil, if you ask Neil about Matt Connor, he'll
know who Matt Connor is. Yeah. Because Offaly don't win anything very often. But yeah, they're one of the smaller counties, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Between hurling, maybe they'd be more famous for what they've done on the hurling pitch more so than the football. But they've Mickey Hart down there managing them now, so they're starting to make inroads again.
Were you gutted when Mickey Hart went to Derry? Was that like I was like Joe Gormley signing for Linfield. It was like I was kind of what you would. It was a big thing. Genuinely,
you had to take a deep breath, Tim. You had to take a deep breath.
Because Derry and Tyrone, big rivals,
That's right.
And Mickey Hart, obviously Mr. Tyrone himself.
No, it didn't go down well.
It didn't go down well.
Did I want to see Mickey managing Derry? No, I did not. Not that I didn't wish him well, but didn't want to see him win anything.
Did you tell him? Did you tell him what you thought of?
I haven't told him yet. I'll leave it at that.
Did you not speak to him at all?
But look, it was. He was finished with Tyrone. He had been with Louth. He was asked. He didn't go looking the job. He was asked to manage them. Yeah. Was it a good idea? I would say not. From Tyrone people or Tyrone supporters look up to Mickey Hart to see him as an out-and-out Tyrone man. You don't want to see one of your best managers go to one of your biggest rivals. But look,
Mickey was manager when you won the All-Irelands, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah, and he obviously has something special, has he?
Absolutely.
Something about him that he's a winner.
He was a brilliant manager. Tyrone had never won the All-Ireland until he came in, and so we got a group of players together, some of us older than others. He had a brilliant young group of lads who worked really well under him. He had won All-Ireland titles at minor and under 20. So the way he brought that group together, and he had a couple of serious tragedies to deal with at that time with Paul McGear and Cormac McNannal, and he was able to manage all that superbly and get the best out of the group of players around him. So, we would we won an All Ireland if Mickey hadn't been the manager. Probably could be sitting here now still with none.
Right. Was he a shouty manager or a kind of because big football fan, as you know, Tommy Breslin, the best manager Cliftonville ever had, was a quiet guy, but he had a second, Peter Minto, who used to bollock them, and then Tommy was very quiet and said, look, you need to do this and you need to do that and all that. Was Mickey a shouter and a thrower of hairdryers and stuff?
Any good sportsman or anybody's into sport, you should have adopt the mentality that you never stop learning. Yeah. And when Mickey, as a young manager, he was very much up and down the sideline, vocal, letting the referees know what he thought of them and getting involved. The longer he stayed on in management, he began to take a different approach. And for anybody that's seen Mickey when Tyrone were winning All-Irelands, they'll be thinking, there's a very calm and composed man. He stands with arms folded on the sideline, no engagement of referees, are really composed. So inside, I have no doubt he was bubbling over and fuming about some of the things, but he quickly realised if he's manager, what way should he be reacting? And he was setting the tone for players and for those around him that he was thinking his way through it. And then at half time, again, you get a lot of managers who rant and rave and say things for the sake of saying things. He definitely wasn't one of those men. Whenever he spoke, he had something important to say, and he spoke with passion. He meant it, and that's why he was able to take so many with him on board. Yeah. So brilliant motivator and training before games, and then for those big games, you always were so well set up. You were mentally, you're in a great place in terms of motivation. You're in a great place, and that all comes down to the man in charge.
And are the best days of your life those 2 All-Irelands? I've been to an All-Ireland semi-final. I'm not really a big GAA man, but it's one on occasion even then.
The best day of my...
Apart from your marriage,
sporting,
children
my
and all
sporting
that.
life.
Obviously, your sporting life
is definitely those days where, when you look back on them, it's remarkable.
Are they a blur, or do you remember everything in detail?
No, I remember it very well, and better than that is the people you take after we won it. You're going around the county with Sam Maguire, and there's people that meant a lot to, being able to touch it and hold it, knowing that we had won it, because there was a lot of people felt Tyrone were never going to win the Sam Maguire. And you hear a lot of stories about people that had passed away and their dying wish was to see Tyrone win it. The amount of people that said to me then, I can die a happy man. Yeah. Well, that's funny. I was going to say, I mean, there's a lot of politics around the GAA and stuff, but a lot of the community feel of GAA. Right. I mean, what happened in Armagh last year when they won the All-Ireland? An explosion of, and from tiny thing like Cliftonville winning the Irish, it's one of the best moments of my life. It was very important to me that so in Tyrone, I mean, the sense of the community and the sense of the county and the sense of the parishes and all, winning something like Sam Maguire, it's very meaningful to people. We often use the term a lot, and it's overused about life and death, but to a lot of people that's what their club meant to them and their county meant to them. Their world revolved around the passion Gaelic football. So that's where the passion stems from, and it's passed down from generation to generation. No different than you'd asked me earlier on where I grew up. I grew up watching my father and older people in my family heavily involved in the GAA. Yeah. And my children are doing the exact same thing now. So, it's passed down. There's tradition there, which is a very important word in the GAA as well. So we can't help it. It's in the blood, as the man says. And so it's been very good to us.
Yeah. How are we doing for... this man has to go. Sorry, we've kept you waiting. I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. I kept God waiting because I was stuck in traffic. And apologies, Peter, for that. Thank you very much for coming to our show last night. And would you thoroughly recommend it, that you're saying that you would come and see Give Me a Headpiece, or people should go and see it?
Did I have to pay for those tickets?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
No, they're great.
Because
what a show.
God, you don't pay for anything. I think we are on tours that we Give My Head piece when the Grand Opera House and all over Northern. We're actually down south in Castleblaney and Yontas and Dunleary and Letterkenny. And Cookstown, we're doing 2 in Cookstown, it's near your school, so we'll be there as well.
I'll be recommending people, and the few hecklers that were there last night were put in their box very quickly. So I'll just warn my friends, if they're going to open their mouth, be careful.
With clever and witty put downs such as "shut the up,"
and maybe the next time you perform, none of you will forget your lines. But
You noticed that, did you?
I did notice that.
You noticed that?
You're very good for covering up for each other on stage.
We can't all be perfect, Peter. Peter Canavan, GAA legend, thank you so much for being on Give My Head podcast. I think this will make your career from now on, and I hope to see you sometime in Canavan's Hotel near Oma. And
Look
we'll
forward
be
to
down
that.
there at some stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Peter Canavan.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next
Thanks,
time
lads.
on the Give My Head podcast. Thank you for listening.